Morning, guys. Morning, Claire, Tim. So I'm in a USD CAD short, which we'll go over in a little bit. Just kind of got to get my stuff together. I'm just going to put a quick message in Discord and let everybody know that we are in fact going live, just as a reminder. Announcements. Cool. All right. So I believe in, hey, Nick, what's up, everybody? I'm just going to need to set my take profit quickly and just get into it. Cool. So I'll go over USD CAD in a little bit. Like I said, just curious how people or what people think about thinking about revamping the trading plan. It'll be almost identical to what it is right now with anyways, it's basically going to be the same thing, but we're going to focus on just pro order flow and counter order flow, and yeah, more based off of higher time frame intention. Now, the trade-off with not trading against the 4 hour and only primarily trading alongside with what the 4 hour is doing is that we would have to monitor extra pairs to be able to correlate this a little bit better and be able to just get into what the higher time frame is already doing. So it's going to be something to think about. I think I'm going to get, I don't know if Dave's in here, but I'm going to get him to maybe do a form you guys can answer anonymously. And what I would look to do would probably be to monitor the majors and then create a watch list for the high probability areas on the 4 hour or in relation to the 4 hour and the daily trend and kind of do that on Sundays instead. So I'm just kind of putting the feeler out right now. I know minimal pairs is kind of like this whole smart money kind of kick that everybody seems to be on, but I'm like slowly starting to shift my focus over to focusing on more of like higher time frame intention, understanding what 4 hour trend is doing, understanding where 4 hour mitigation areas would be to get strong reactions to be able to trade very high probability setups. So if it's something something that would interest you, drop a 1 in the comments. And if you just want to keep it as is, you can drop a 2. But yeah, I'm, again, just like, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to do it. It's just, I want to get a feel for what people are thinking. I think to be honest, we're kind of like, we're in a gap in the market right now where, a lot of, other communities primarily focus on, 1 or possibly 2 pairs at most. And, I don't want to be the guy that says we want to do something different, but I really, really think that it would be beneficial to kind of expedite the learning curve as well. How many people in this current live find themselves forcing trades on EU or GU or even XAU because they're trying to basically fight higher time frame order flow just to get involved with a trade, right?
So my back, can I talk? Is that okay?
Yeah, who's talking to me?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's Jeff. Hey so Jeff. I came from an environment where I was monitoring many pairs, and I guess there's pros and cons to both. So the pros to doing 1 pair or 2 pairs is that you're obviously very familiar with all of the different price action. And I find when you start monitoring 4 hour POIs or order blocks or supply and demand zones, which correlate to the daily and like the higher time frame attention, it ends up being a lot of work because what happens is you're waiting for that setup. So you enter the 4-hour POI, you're waiting for the 15-minute shift, you're waiting for the sweep of the 15-minute shift, and it's taking days for it to get set up. Then you're waiting for the liquidity to get done.
Right.
Whereas if you're trading just the EU, for example, you're basically a session trader. And depending on what zone you're reacting from, you're either holding it longer or not, as it's indicated on the flow chart.
Right.
So it's really just a function of where your trade management goes. And so personally, I came from a background where
Right.
I was trading multiple pairs, and every fucking morning was a hassle because
Right.
I'm busy writing, I'm making boxes and stuff like that. So
Right.
for someone who's full-time trader, I get it, no problem. It's a blessing. But for someone who wants to kind of just trade a session for 1 or 2 hours,
Yeah.
I personally feel that the formula that we have is
Cool.
the way we should go. So I'm a number 2.
Awesome.
Not a number 1.
So what I'm going to do, like, and again, nothing is set in stone. What I may do is just, I'll probably add maybe one extra one that is inversely correlated to everything. Like right now, GU and EU kind of operate together. Euro GPY is a thing of its own. XAU is a thing on its own. And I think what I'll probably do is maybe throw just one extra one in there just to be able to, for the people, because I can't just cater to one specific person. Like, man, trust me, I'm in the same boat as you personally, even with all the time that I have. I like monitoring only one pair, to be honest with you. But I'm also,
and also just all the backup work for all the end of day markups and all the logging and the trading and the forecasting and the outlooks. Like it becomes a real job.
So and here's the thing is, like, a lot of and everybody's in a little bit of a different situation. I'm happy you're bringing this up because I just want to talk back and forth about kind of how I felt about and why I even thought about doing this in the first place. Is that I'm finding a lot of people are forcing trades that don't necessarily correlate directly with our plan, just to be able to get involved in trades, because a lot of people have the challenge on a pedestal. They're sitting there waiting for some sort of a move to be able to gain some R, to be able to get funded, whatever it might be. So anyways, I'm asking everybody because I just want to understand where people are sort of sitting. Nothing is set in stone. I like monitoring just the 3 of them, to be honest with you. I just want to know where people sit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Dave to make up some sort of a Google form, and you guys can fill it out however you want. And then ultimately the decision will be up to me and Dave whether or not we want to monitor numerous pairs. But I just started toying around with it last night just to look at where these kind of like higher time frame intention shoulder moves. Like just for example, on USD CAD, what I ended up looking at last night was that we had a very weak break of this high. You can see order flow has shifted. We had a POI at a flip zone. Like normally I wouldn't be able to catch this, right? But this is just a great move to be able to start taking to the downside. So you know what I mean? Like we wouldn't have caught something like this, and this is just such an easy move to catch. So I think what I'll do in the background, as a compromise and kind of blend these things together, is primarily maybe what we'll do is we'll only monitor the 3 pairs. And then if I see something that's setting up really nicely for the week ahead, I'll introduce one bonus pair per week or something like that, just so that we can kind of monitor. And we won't monitor all these different pairs. I think that might be a better compromise. Thoughts? Anybody?
Yeah.
Jeff, I'm talking.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Me personally, I'm going to stick with, like, before I joined Fractal, I was EU and a little bit of AU. Yep. The rest of my accountability group trades AU and EU, and I've just gone to EU, and I'm in trades every day. So perfect. While it may not necessarily follow the trade plan as it follows the flow chart. Yep. But instead of using 4-hour 15, I'm using 15-1. Like, it's the same concepts. It's just not using the same time frames.
That fractal nature.
But it's the same sweep of liquidities.
Yep.
The same everything.
Yep.
So
cool. So, and again, from my perspective, and again, we're just having a conversation here, but from my perspective, if I'm sitting here teaching a very nuts and bolts kind of strategy, and somebody who's just come in, they've been in XYZ community for 6 months, they've got a solid foundation of the concepts, but they're looking to actually apply the principles. They're not going to know to use the 15 and the 1 like we use the 15 and the 4 kind of thing, right? So in order to kind of show these higher time frame narrative, or even really just medium time frame narrative moves, it's more beneficial to show and expose them to what that actually looks like from a mentor sort of standpoint, right? And that's kind of what I'm getting at. So I think the compromise, we're still going to put the form out. I'm not going to be looking at all these different pairs or anything like that. What I'll do is on the Sunday, I'll do a little bit of homework for myself and just look at what's setting up in terms of higher probability setups in addition to GU, EU, and XAU. And I'll just throw one extra pair in our list for the week so that you can kind of see what that high probability setup looks like. And again, I'm going to put everything out as a feeler and see how people think. And if it doesn't affect you, and if it's not something that you want to monitor regularly, by all means, you don't have to. But there's a lot of people that want to be able to see how these plays actually happen in real time, as opposed to kind of trying to force moves out. So I appreciate the feedback, guys. Let's get into what's going on in the chart. Yeah.
I just want to say something like, sometimes what I feel in the group is there's a lot of people that are forcing trades. So the new people come into here and then they see that and they think that's the way that we're meant to be trading. So I think everything should go with the way you trade and what you're watching, and because that's why we joined the group. We joined
for sure
the group to trade the way you trade. Now I understand what you're saying, but as long as that's made clear to a lot of people that this is not how we trade. We don't follow a million pairs and try and get in every 15 minutes, because that's not how you trade.
That's right.
Because I think a lot of people will get confused. They see the Discord and they see a lot of people. It took me a while actually to figure this out. They see a lot of people just getting in trades, and you guys are the coaches are saying, oh no, that's good, but that's not really how you trade. So yeah, it can be confusing.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay,
I want to trade like you trade. It's taken me a while to realize that you are a slow trader. You trade not slow in that sense, but you look at the higher time frames and wait for the bigger moves, wait for the liquidity to get taken, wait for everything to line up. And that for me is better, and that's how you trade. But when I see everybody else taking trades, the first month I was like, but none of this makes sense.
For sure.
It took me a while to figure it out. So
and again, that's kind of why I'm like, not to add another variable, but when you monitor, maybe a couple extra pairs, and we're able to actually look at the more higher time frame moves, such as, USD CAD, we were never monitoring, but I put it in last night and you can just see what's happening, right? So these are the moves that I'm most interested in, right? Aligned with 4-hour intention. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that like it may be beneficial to just kind of, what I'll do on the primary pairs that we can watch will be GU, EU, and XAU. But what I'll do is I'll throw in one kind of extra pair, just say like, I'm looking specifically at this. Here's what I'm looking for to happen at this area. This is how I implement the flow chart at this area. These are the high probability setups for the week. You know what I'm saying? So
that makes sense. Yeah, as long as you say like, this is more for a case study.
Yeah,
just because we get it in, and we make that clear to people, because I think that is something that a lot of new people are missing. They think we need to trade every single one of these pairs, and
it's just not the case, right? And I've never indicated that either, but yeah, I can see how that could get a
little confusing. But if you put it in there, they are going to think that.
For sure. Cool. Okay, so I'll get that record sort of straightened out, and moving forward as we do that Sunday narrative, I'll be very explicit with what I'm saying. Cool. Lots of feedback. I appreciate that. Let me just go through these comments, guys. I find I can monitor 2 actively every day. With the 3 we have now, I generally pick the 2 that I think, yeah, that's exactly what I do too. So, but the bottom line with this, Matt, is that when you have options to be able to kind of weigh through and say, okay, the 2 that are setting up the best for me, like obviously like less is more, but if you have more to choose from to pick higher quality setups, anyways, again, I'm just spitballing ideas here, and I'm nothing set in stone. I'm looking to have these picturesque sort of setups that we kind of go after, and be able to teach exactly what those pivots look like in the market, so that moving forward, we're all on the same page with exactly where these high probability setups sort of come from. So again, guys, nothing is set in stone. I will be very explicit when I'm explaining stuff. The primary pairs, again, that we are going to monitor will be GBP and Euro USD. In addition to that, we have the bonus one of gold. And what I'll do is I'll just sift through and say like, okay, you know what? There's a really, really high probability setup that's going to happen happen in and around XYZ area. If and when it sets up, you can choose to trade from it, or you can choose to build a case study around it so that you can at least see the mechanics of the strategy and how we implement it. This is a slow and steady strategy, guys. I think everybody is starting to know that this is not a day trader strategy. We are not trading every single day. Anybody who's trading every single day, in my opinion, is if you can, that's great. If you understand how to read between the lines and use that fractal nature of the market between timeframes, that's fine. But the way that we trade specifically with M15 structure points in relation to H4, there's not a trade available every single day with our plan. So again, the only reason I'm looking to potentially expand this a little bit further would be to expedite the learning curve on how to implement the strategy every single day. I'm going to stick with EU and GU, limited on trading time, being that I work full time. 2 pairs is enough for me to keep track and feel comfortable, but with respect to whatever works for others. 3 main pairs and a bonus hot list setting up pair sounds more manageable. Exactly, and that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I'm just kind of spitballing these ideas, trying to get a little bit of feedback. I know a lot of people joined with the idea of this 1 pair, 1 strategy, which is, I mean, primarily what we're trying to get to, right? That like once you're trading full time, the idea would be that you only need to manage 1 pair. And like I said, I should be a little bit more explicit with this, but if you build case studies around the mechanics of where these things happen across different pairs, you are going to be primed to be able to apply these things when you are only monitoring your 1 pair in real time. So that's the whole idea here. It's not to be trading several different pairs, although I may take trades on them. It just means that when you start to build that foundation out, you're able to see these things happen a lot more. And I think it's more advantageous to you guys. That's just my personal thoughts. If you see something on another pair, you think it's setting up perfectly, I'm 100% going to check that out. Cool. Cool. Sounds like a great plan. Awesome. What about US 30? People treating it like the new EU. Personally, I just don't have that much interest. I'd rather look at the majors within FX personally. If maybe at some point, maybe we'll have somebody on that can handle US 30 as well. But for the time being, it's not something I'm looking to monitor. Okay, you guys ready to jump into this now that we've gotten all the hot air out of the room? I'm gonna have a sip of coffee and we'll get into this.
Just got into an EU short.
You just got into an EU short. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful.
2 minutes after we started.
Yeah, off this flip here.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's have a quick peek. Liquidated the high. We're very close to. Nope, came just directly into it. Beautiful. Yeah, inducement. Lovely. Let's break that down. So pro trend, pro order. Let's have a quick look here.
We're actually counter order.
Yeah, counter order because we left from the demand, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So you reacted to this, right?
Yep.
1, chalk and flip. Show me the process here. What did you do? Just give me a sec. I just want to, yeah, I do have.
So I took a loss. Hold on, let me see. I took a loss right below it. So, okay, so hold on, let me just EU. Okay, so we had basically these equals here that were swept.
Yeah.
I took a loss. I took a loss here.
Okay.
After this.
Yeah.
Then basically we entered this POI. I saw this failure, entered here.
Cool. Amazing. Looks good. Now we might come back up to possibly.
But I did do it on the seconds.
Yeah. Well, it's all good. I mean, we could probably come up to here now and then probably see some sort of a down move like this. We'll watch it. You want to just grab your line there, please?
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
But I would never have gotten that before the whole inducement / liquidity grab / wait for the 1 minute sweep. Like all of that's all like new sauce for me.
It's nice, eh?
Yeah.
If you're patient enough,
Like
it's tough
well,
to fight the hold habits, right, of getting involved with this stuff.
it kept me out of all this shit here.
That's right, man. Always want to be at the last point of liquidity, right? So if you know that this is the last point of liquidity right here, right? This comes from a sweep. This is inducement. Take out the early sellers. Boom. It's game over, right?
Was the loss that I took valid? Because I saw those equals as the inducement.
So right here, if you got in right here, let's have a quick look. So if you looked at this, like basically as your refined, right? In here?
Yeah, I had both those zones as my refinement as a 15.
Okay.
But I guess the question is, it's kind of simple. Do equal highs make the inducement that we need?
Well,
if you get your entry criteria here,
I would probably I would probably have taken this trade as well, to be honest with you.
Okay, perfect. That's all I want to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to have a look at what it looks like on 5S. Yeah, liquidity to take into the extreme, right? You probably.
So actually, I placed the way I played this was I was waiting for this to get swept, so I placed my entry here with my stop above it.
I probably, in all fairness, I probably would have taken the same trade and then very quickly realized that like we should have already had this refined POI mapped out as well. And this is, yeah, pretty, it would have been tough for me. I don't know if I would have taken this. I probably would have seen this as a failed reaction, considering we don't really, break down demand or anything like that. So technically we don't get the 1 minute chalk, right?
Yeah, we don't.
So I probably would have been reluctant to get involved, to be honest with you. And then once we're at like a do or die sort of area within structure, which is up here above inducement, I would probably pull trigger on a 5 second entry up here because this is the last place it could hold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you get your change of character that happens right here, wherever you want to mark it, liquidity to take, right? So ultimately the flip is valid in here. Right, or this, sorry, not the flip, but the extreme. Yeah, I would have probably gotten involved like that, or a sell stop underneath here. Cool. Anytime, so actually it's worth mentioning this right now, but anytime we are at sort of like an extremity within structure and we're not at a decisional, even if you consider yourself counter, don't be scared to jump on your seconds chart. I can't remember if I've updated that on the flow chart. I know I said I would, and I just can't remember if I actually put that on there. But yeah, if we're at an extremity within 15-minute structure and we've got all the pieces of the pie sort of aligned, don't be scared to get involved on the seconds because oftentimes it's almost immediate right after we've liquidated something. So listening. Cool. Yeah, this is going to run probably at least this low. So yeah, that's a great trade. I don't know how many are that's available there. Probably got involved something like this. How big was your stop? 2.5 or 3?
Yeah, no, it was actually 2. I just covered the high.
Oh, beauty. Nice.
On the 5 second.
Yep. Something like that. So, I mean, that's an easy full volume trade for 25R.
I already partialed at 5.
That's okay.
My got shitty trade management. I'm still trying to figure that part out. I can't, like, I'm holding trades from up top. Like I have 3 open positions on this whole short, but I have such small volume in each.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's all good. Management. It's such a hard thing to teach because everybody deals with emotions a little bit differently too as things start to progress. The more exposure you have, the more prone you're going to be to hold these things with some volume.
Yeah. So what I'm doing now is 25% at 5R, 50% at 10R, and holding 25%.
Amazing. Have an exit plan, man, before that's like a trade idea is not complete without the exit. If you don't know where you want to get out, don't get in. This one does not fit the flow.
Yeah, so I'm actually expecting this low to get run, right? So
yeah, this like this low is going to get run for sure.
So
it's weak as fuck.
So anyway, right now my target's at that low.
Yeah,
but I'm still taking 50%.
Yeah, it's probably going to go quite a bit lower, to be honest with you. Like I would probably be holding this into here.
Yeah, so I have two other open positions. One from, well, I had three, but I closed it. So I had one that I actually got in here
Yep.
at the top. One that I got in yesterday, which we spoke about on the phone,
Yep.
and then I got in this one yesterday afternoon.
Right.
And then I just entered this one here. So this middle one I closed. So this guy is closed. This guy is still 25% left, and well, this guy I just closed 10R right now.
Cool.
Or close to it. I think I just had the alert.
I'm just going to go through these comments super quick. Low got swept on the left. I ain't seeing clear liquidity to go down. Well, liquidity is in terms of a lot of different things, guys. Like I think a lot of people get confused with liquidity. Liquidity is in terms of expectational order flow. It's in terms of built up mitigations. It's on poor delivery. Like, man, you guys have to be able to understand that it's not just a bunch of built up mitigations to target. The idea with liquidity is that if you look at this right now, what do we have? Tons and tons and tons of liquidity to come down, right? And if we've taken that last bit from above here, liquidity to take is above these highs, and liquidity to target is all of this built up mitigation, right? So it's not going to be as clear cut as just like these built up mitigations on the 5 second to be able to support your move. It's very much going to be this entire zone, right? And like, we're so heavily bearish that do you think that this is a logical area for the market to start pinpointing a reversal? More than likely, probably not, right? It's going to continue down until we hit some sort of a higher time frame demand, which is going to shift order flow and potentially start pushing us this way, right? Now, in terms of flow chart, technically, I don't want to say it's a violation whatsoever. I think that it's a logical area to look, especially because this is technically your structure point. We are, in fact, in the premium. We have inducement. We have levels of liquidity to take from the market. The levels to take from the market are here, here, and here. We've taken that into here. Do or die moment. 5 second chalk and flip. The idea is that the market is going to get dragged down into these levels down here.
Right. I guess one way of looking at it is what area needs to fail for order flow, for demand to really take control. And for me, it's this high.
That's so right.
This
for
growth,
sure.
That's kind of the demand failure. And now we're kind of long bias.
Exactly. This one, okay, I agree. As ideal entry would be after a 1 minute chalk. Exactly, because we're technically counter Dag. You're on the right track, brother. Like I said, because it's more of like a do or die situation that sits at the structural high after a liquidity grab. That's the only reason you'd be able to potentially justify getting involved on the seconds is in these regions right here. Took the flip, got stopped out by 0.1 pip. It happens, 100% right. Didn't look at the 15-minute picture, dummy me. Shorts would now be in play for me with 15-minute order flow shift. Cool. But just to confirm, we are counter order flow. Yes, we are counter order flow as we have left from a demand. Although we are still operating within structure, order flow is bullish from a valid demand level that we need to just consider while we're actually analyzing our charts, right? It's meant to be an insurance policy. That's all it's meant to do. Even though the higher time frame and the medium time frame order flow is still bearish, because we've left from somewhere and chalked up, we just assume that order flow could potentially switch to bullish to basically give us some sort of an insurance policy to look for just better confirmations. That's all. Okay, thought we had to wait for a 1 minute chalk. Yes, typically we would wait for a 1 minute chalk. Before you've joined, actually, Dag, we talked about this in a few different webinars. And whenever we're at an extreme level, sitting right here above liquidity, typically we can jump onto the seconds, especially if the higher time frame is bearish. But yeah, technically you would need to see a 1 minute chalk. You're not wrong. So looking at something in here now above this liquid region would be something that we could potentially consider looking at to then come down, right? So now that we've had this 1 minute change of character, what caused the actual failure? Well, it's very simple. It came from somewhere up in here, right? So our valid trade idea would come from somewhere up in this region where the actual failure happened. So you're on the right track. All I'm saying is that if you're in a do or die sort of situation, after taking liquidity, after formulating some inducement, liquidating that inducement, coming down, like ultimately this is an area that you can get involved at an extreme level above liquid regions.
So is this a trade that you would be looking at? Because you're looking at the higher movements, right?
Personally,
I mean, logically, it makes sense.
yeah, no, logically it makes sense. It does. Like, this is that pro trend. Obviously, this is counter order flow because we're leaving from here. Personally, I like taking trades up here, right? Like, these are the areas that I want to trade from. Do these correlate with the flow chart? Absolutely. This is why the flow chart is designed the way it is to be able to get you into these continuations at these pivotal points. But personally, I'm not particularly interested. I'm more fussy of looking for stuff up in here and holding these down into here. But I also trade on a personal account. So it's designed like the way that the modeling system is designed is for a funded account so that you can actually get in and out of trades a little bit quickly.
Because I have my 15-minute structure a lot bigger than this. This is
just internal structure.
This is
right?
internal 15-minute. Yeah, I get that. Order flow has changed, so now we're trading more order flow than 15-minute structure.
That's right. That's right. So this is just
we're very low in the
sorry.
We're very low in the 15-minute leg. We're very low in my 15-minute leg to
this is the 15-minute leg right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why, like, I would personally rather take trades up here. Like, this is the area that I would like to take trades from. Ideally, I'd like to see something like this, looking like this, and then coming down.
Oh. Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. Lots of questions. Good. Awesome. Interact. Do the damn thing. What else we got here? 15-minute has realigned. Shorts are looking good now. I feel like it's become easier to trade EU only when we have such a do or die setups in the flow chart. It's a flip on the 4-hour. Yeah, that's right. It's a flip on the 4. Oh, that's right. Flip zone.
But this is a good situation where looking at different pairs will give you different positions because the same move on another USD cross might be at an extreme.
That's right. That's right.
So it might be.
Okay, let me just go over to, sorry, just bear with me for a second. I do have to have a quick look. So I'm approaching where I'd like to scale out. This is an awesome trade too. Did anybody have a look at USD CAD from last night? And we just kind of, like I had mentioned about this area up in here. Did anybody build a case study or have a look at potentially getting involved at this level? One for yes, two for no. I'm guessing it's a lot of twos, a lot of quiet. My suggestion to everybody would be go look at these areas right here. There might have been a valid setup in here. There also would have been a valid setup in here. This would have got you break even. This one would have got you involved. So I'm actually not even going to bother breaking this down. I'm going to let you guys go and do that. Whether or not you'd like to participate, totally up to you. But yeah, this is just a really great trade. I'll give you a little bit of higher time frame perspective here. We've got a flip zone. Ultimately, there's a small take on liquidity up in here. We get the tap in. We basically induce this level right here. If you jump down onto lower time frames, you can just see where liquidity was built up. We get the sweep, liquidation, boom, drop down, away we go. Counter order flow. No, we didn't leave from anything over here, right? There's no demand that we have to worry about. So this would have been pro trend, technically pro order flow, right? Oh, you're talking, oh, maybe leaving from here. Yes, sorry. So yes, you would have been potentially counter, looking at this level right here, right? Counter, get the liquidation, 1 minute chalk and flip, right? Get involved on the seconds, drop down. I'll do a trade breakdown later. I'll show you guys what I've done.
I think doing something like this would be really cool. Like where you said now, there should be a trading here. This is not one of our matching pairs that we normally look at. Go and do a case study.
Yeah. Well,
and then come out. I think that will help everyone so much.
That's exactly.
Now we're seeing it more often. So yeah.
Exactly. Cool. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. It's not necessarily to follow a bunch of different pairs. It's to show you how this works at these high probability areas. So homework, maybe I'll do a giveaway. Should I do a giveaway? Throw some ones in the comments if we get, how many people we got in here? 39 people. Tell you what, 39 people, okay? If we get 39 case studies, 39 case studies around this short, and I'm talking detailed fucking markups, beautiful detailed markups. Okay, I'm gonna pick the best case study, and I'm going to award that person. What are we gonna do? Let's give away. We'll do a 25K account. Yeah, let's get 40. Let's get 40 of them. Okay, 40 people. 40 fucking people. Okay, I want to see 40 people do a case study on this exact move right here. If we get that, we'll give away a 25K E8 challenge account. I want to see.
Hold on, let me log out and you can count, and then I'll come back.
Let's get this done. I'm going to give you guys until tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cool. Dave, can you, yeah, anyways, no, Dave, don't worry about it. We'll, I'll get an announcement in the channel to be able to make sure that people are doing this. Yeah, please post an announcement for us that we're going to be looking at the USD CAD sells that are happening right now to build a case study. And if we get 40 people, we're good to go. E8 is preparing itself to be the new, you know what, man? They're doing some shit, man. They're it's such a solid company so far, at least in my experience. Yeah, I really can't stress it enough that they're probably going to be taking over. There's a lot of room for improvement in the prop firm industry, and yeah, I couldn't be happier. So spreads right now on EU on the live, EU is at 0.2. GU is at 0.3, 0.4. XAU is in between 0.8 and 1.8. Euro JPY is around 0.7. USD CAD is sitting steady at 0.3. Commissions are about $4.50 per lot.
It's similar to the FTMO.
It's almost identical. Like there's really not that much difference. Yeah. I mean, it's cheaper. You can get funded in, I mean, literally, I think mine was 2 days. I got my funding from, like, I got my credentials in the morning. I had passed phase 1, and then the following morning passed phase 2. And by the evening, I had my funded account after signing all my stuff. So literally a 2-day process. Not that you need to rush anything, but it's nice to, you know, if that's something that you value and you'd like to, you know, get involved with something a little bit quicker, whatever it is, the option is there to have that done very, very quickly. So 40 commissions. Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
It's also cheaper on commissions.
Cheaper on
like True Forex Fund. So you know what the problem is? True Forex Fund say it's $3.50, but that's only one way.
It's only one way.
So you actually pay. That's
right.
You're paying 7 instead of the 5 that you pay for both ways on E8.
The only advantage with True Forex Funds is that you're running an IC raw account, right? So you're actually getting those true zero raw spread, but like it doesn't matter. I mean, like if you can't, if you can't factor in a 0.3 for spreads, and that's a deciding factor on a prop firm. To me, you're doing it wrong, but like, that's, again, just my opinion. Is it ideal to have a raw account? For sure, like as a personal or something like that, but I mean, it's not, it shouldn't be a deal breaker, right? But yeah, so far with my experience with E8, I actually couldn't be happier. It's the best prop firm I've been involved with in terms of just support. You know, I absolutely love their interface and their dashboard on online. Not that really matters, but it's nice. It's very easy to very easy layout, very easy to follow. Yeah, it's fantastic. Let's go over to E.
I just slave everything to my master account, which is an ECN account. Like I have an Oanda account that has like a 1 pip spread on EU, and it just executes when my FXCM account executes. So the spreads are a non-issue. Same with my FTMOs, like it's all linked to one account.
Right.
So regardless of the spread on the account, it just kind of affects my price when I'm getting in and out.
Right.
But it doesn't affect whether I get stopped out or not because it's all linked to the master account.
Right. What do you
So
use?
kind of
Go ahead.
I use a it's a website called Social Trader Tools.
Okay, cool. That's pretty well what most people are using. No issues with it?
Oh my God, no. I've been using it for over a year now and it's been fine.
Cool. Awesome. So you can
do you find ever
go ahead.
Did you have a question, Nick?
Yeah, I'm just what somebody sounded like they were talking.
Yeah.
Lost them. So you managed to get in here, Carlo, you said? Let's have a quick peek. I'm already in a trade, so I'm not managing a bunch of different positions. That's not what I'm trying to do, but let's just see what you looked at. And Gus, I think you asked, what is LTT? So LTT is liquidity to take and liquidity to target. So yeah, we've got this targeted sort of liquidity in terms of EOF low. We've got these little equals to kind of go after. I'm guessing Carlo probably got involved with a limit sitting just above this level, liquidity to take, as well as targeted liquidity, and away we go.
So I was looking at a possible scale in, but I saw these as equals. So I was waiting for this.
Ideally, I'd like to see this up here. Personally, I'd like to see this kind of come down and then sweep and then possibly drop down. But
I think this is the flip on the 1 minute though, right? And that's the flip on the, like that's the flip of the flip and this is the flip of the extreme.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You can see that this is starting to, I want to come back up and take all this. Hard to say. We're in, like, you have to remember too that we're in very heavy higher time frame order flow, bearish to the downside, right? So this is probably just going to leave from here, to be honest with you. And you can see if you look at the 15, you can see we've mitigated in, right? After the order flow shift. So this might be good. Yeah, exactly. Gus. Cool. Yeah, so Dave will get that announcement in there to be able to possibly give away an account. 40 case studies is what we need. And we'll pick the most detailed. We're going to go through every single one of them. Well, Dave will. Oh, just kidding. We'll both go through them. And we'll pick the best one and we'll post it up. Yeah, and we'll go from there. Yeah, this is beautiful. Nice trade. Nice trading. Who taught you guys? Awesome stuff though. Let's see, GU tapering down. Euro. Some dude on IG. Oh, this is a banger. That's too bad. Too bad I missed it, but I'm in this guy, which I'm very happy about, to be honest. This has a lot of downside potential. Be right back, guys. I just got to run upstairs quickly. I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right. So one thing I want included in this case study for anybody who's doing it is I want it based off of this entire piece right here. I want to know whether or not this was a valid entry in here, whether or not there was a valid confirmation to be able to get in. I also want to see where you could have got in here and how you would have managed, all that kind of stuff. The more detail, the better. See the entire process. Can you look at XAU? It's in a valid supply. Let's have a look. 15. Let's have a quick peek here. I just want to go out to my 4-hour. So the break of structure, right, or internal structure, substructure right here, right? So ideally we'd like to see something maybe come down like this, sweep up, and then continue down would be my more ideal. Like this all looks like liquidity to me personally. This all looks like liquidity to me, and I kind of been mentioning that like this is the area that I would like to trade from more than anything else with XAU. Get this sort of like, yeah, push up, take out all of this, and then drop. I mean, you could look at potentially getting involved, but yeah. Putting in a target here, right? Like liquidity is sitting above, it's not sitting below right now. At least in my opinion, we've got a lot of built up stuff across the highs. So I don't know that I would be trading sells from here. I'd be looking at potentially taking sells on the take of all of this, ideally, and then looking for order flow to sort of realign and then be able to start taking this down into equals would be the better setup for me, at least. We're also not tapped into, you know, you can see that we haven't, and there you go. And there goes EU. Beauty. Oh, you. She gone. I want to see lots of trade and guys, when you put your trade recaps in or your case studies, make sure that it's not even just for me, it's for you guys. I need to see, or you guys need to see rather, you know, when you're putting your call outs, call out every detail. Make sure that everything is just dialed in so that everybody understands your process, exactly what you were thinking while this thing was doing its thing. You know, don't be scared to just pollute this thing with all kinds of different call outs to be able to, like I said, just be able to kind of see what it is that you actually looked for. Yeah, banger trade, you know, take off some volume at this level right here, and then take off some volume. Yeah, look over to the left. Where's the next area that we can get a reaction? Possibly down in here. Take off some volume here, and then take off the rest down at these lows. Beauty trade. Sorry that I didn't call it out live, but we've been busy chatting, looking at all kinds of other stuff too. Beautiful draw on liquidity as well. Boom. I'm just going to look at my USD CAD.
So GU had an entry this morning because I was up during the Euro session and I wasn't able to get an entry. See that big wick?
Yeah,
mitigated
right
the extreme.
Yep.
So I was at my chart and I couldn't hit sell. Is there a way that you could have gotten into that?
Let's have a look. Like I said, these aren't particularly ones that I would want to get involved. Like
yeah,
this,
but just from an entry standpoint.
Yeah, entry standpoint. Let's have a look.
Because I was ready to take the risk.
Okay, so let's go like this, and we'll get down to 1 minute. Above liquidity, we get rid of the early sellers. Oh no, it's up here. It's above all this too.
Yeah, it's that unmitigated wick.
Gotcha. Just above liquidity. Probably wouldn't have been able to get involved. Like sell
So I
stop.
had,
Yeah, sell stop would have been the only way.
yeah, so yeah,
Probably.
yeah. So basically, I was looking for this to come back.
Yeah, usually when you see this higher time, when you see that like 15-minute liquidation, more often than not, we never come back up to this extreme. Like we've already fulfilled all these orders, right? So we got no reason to come back up here until later. Once we've actually taken out like a low of some sort, then we could potentially come back up. But yeah, no, it's when we have that higher time frame liquidation. Ideally, all you're going to want to look for is again just some form of a liquidation again, and look where your sell stop should be, right, in relation to your change of character. Where does your change of character happen? Well, it's going to happen here. So yeah, sell stop here, stop covering this, and let it do its thing.
Yeah, so what I would do, like I did in G, like sometimes what I'll do is I'll place my order here, but I didn't want to have this as my stop.
Well, no, exactly. So, and like this is where
Yeah.
sell stops are super, super awesome to use, because ultimately, if we tap into this after we've already grabbed all of this, like the market's going to want to come down to at least here anyways, right? To mitigate. So it gets you in a position where you at least you can manage your stop loss.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. What should we do when we don't hit full T? Well, fine. So if you go into your flow chart, let me just open mine up exactly. So I just want to go over to CAD to sort of monitor this a little bit. Cool. We'll just do that like that for now. Hello. Okay, so 2 seconds. Just need to make this wider. So just want to look at the exact wording. So when it comes to management, we need to target the next M15 low or high that is weak. That's kind of like your decisional area within your flow chart. If you want to be more aggressive, you can target the next M15 supply or demand beyond the weak high or low, or more conservative, you could target the next M15 area that may produce a strong reaction before the weak low or the weak high. So in this case, right, if we have liquidity resting in the market that sits like this, right, and we have something just below it, let's say this demand, right? You can target this demand. You could build your case study around this, and that's probably a 20 or 30-hour move, depending on how tight your stop loss is. So if you want to build it around a more conservative target, you can do that. But all that stuff is already sitting in the flow chart for you guys to be able to decide which one makes the most sense for you. But yeah, personally, I would probably take this a little bit deeper, just given the fact that I think that this low should be weak in terms of expectational order flow. And then, yeah, I'll start to look to take some profits there. But you do need to understand that typically when we have unmitigated levels underneath liquid regions, more often than not, you're going to get some form of a reaction. And when you start to see this reaction, this is where all logic and rationale can go out the window very, very quickly. So you need to be mindful of that. So if you're somebody who is a little bit more volatile with their emotions, watching drawdown and watching all these things sort of happen and pull back, like for me personally, it's not a big deal, because even if we get taken out at break even here, we come back up and we see something like this again, I'm going to be looking to potentially get involved again on the short side. So it's not a huge deal, but yeah, you have to basically rationalize this with how you would actually execute this in the market, right? And that's how you should build your case study. Don't just build it based off of the highest time frame PO or take profit. Design it so that you're essentially building it the way that you would actually trade it. Target liquidity, right? Liquidity to take, right? Liquidity to target. Boom, it's done. Could have been scaled out of this move completely right here if you wanted to. else we have going on today? GU, beautiful. This thing's going to dump into probably new lows, to be honest. I think the next really strong reaction, like there's nothing holding us in this area right here. I would say underneath here, we're going to get a reaction. So on this liquidity right here is what I would probably target. What else we got? EU. Yeah, EU is dumping. So even just targeting this week low. 23-hour trade.
So would you look for a hedge long?
No, not from there. If I was taking this position up here and I took this down into this level underneath all this liquidity, I would look for a hedge here, but I wouldn't be looking to hedge here. This is a weak area, right?
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Okay.
You want to hedge from the next higher time. Like typically hedging is for people that are holding these high, like, I mean, so again, like with your fractal nature of the market, you're looking primarily at 15-1. So this might be a logical place to maybe look for a hedge. But yeah, for me personally, this isn't somewhere I would be. Maybe if you got in here, maybe you could look for a hedge here. But if you got in here, you would never look for a hedge here, right?
Yeah, ideally that supply would have failed and then I would have just gone long and then it would have been pro order flow.
Exactly.
But, okay.
Cool. So for whoever was asking about the supply, I'm sure you can understand now that this is probably not going to be the best place, to be honest with you. There's just so much pulling the market up right now. Yeah. Have a look at gold, see if anything looks half decent in here, but I don't think that this is a level. This is kind of like this looks like a trap zone, to be honest with you.
Can you just go back to the 15 for 1 sec? So the way that I was, so now like the liquidity stuff, so I would see this here.
This is nothing. Yep.
And I would look at, hold on, I would look at this flip above this area.
Yep.
And I would expect this to get run. I would wait for an alert. Once it comes in here, I would look for the 1 minute.
Exactly.
That's how I'd play this right now.
That's what I'm saying. So somebody was just mentioning that this is this supply valid? And this, to me, this is not a valid supply zone. It would need to be above this. But personally, I don't think that there's even a zone. Like, I think this is going to push quite a bit higher, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Look at like just a 1 hour, like there's tons and tons of built up. We've just taken out all of this. I'd like to see all of it get ran and be able to see just above here somewhere is my ideal area. And then we can start looking, take sells. If this is your leg, right?
What do you say? It's not a valid zone. It's not a valid supply. Can you repeat that? I didn't catch it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, for short term, it might be.
Yeah, I mean, for very, very short term. But I mean, do you want to be trading from an area that cannot take out expectational order flow lows, right? Like, I mean, we're trading shorts in the discount, right?
Yeah, okay, got you. Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Would you need a leg to get taken before a high similar to this? Would this low need to be taken out? Which one? This one or this one? One or two? Yeah, okay. Not necessarily. I mean, ideally, yeah, you would want to see that get taken before we can actually start looking at these sells, right? But I mean, there's liquidity sitting in the market. If we just get, I got you. So if we sweep up into here, the idea is that expectation order flow is to take out this low. So if we come up into here and we take out all this liquidity that rests, and this comes from a sweep, this is a beautiful POY for us to continue downwards, right? Because if all of this gets taken, what's left is across these equals. Yeah, I'm not looking at gold for sells in this. That's for sure. That's not something I would want to trade personally, not with stacked liquidity like this. Again, just my personal preference, but like if we got some sort of like a reaction to here, we pushed down, swept up and came back down, this would be my ideal area to sort of start taking this down into potentially weak lows. USD CAD. Oops. Order flow shift. What else do we have here? So this is no good. There's nothing to trade in here. Getting a reaction to this low. USD news just hit as well. Oh, dang. Yeah, there goes gold. Let's go like this and go to Forex Factory. Euro, GBP, and USD. 9. So I think that explains valid supply or not, but yeah, this is like even these are all very, very weak levels. This is going to get ran. Like I'm sure this high will probably get taken at some point in the next day or two. GDP was 3 minutes ago. Oh yeah, yeah. It's not a super high impact news. So yeah, shorts are going to have a bad time on gold. Very, very bad time. Yeah, until liquidity is taken out of the market, there's no sell setup, right? There's no sell setup at all. Shut gold off, man. Don't even bother looking at it. Get rid of it. It's not setting up for us the way that we would need it to until that high gets taken, liquidity gets taken out of the market, and then it needs to order flow shift. We need to create liquidity to target. You know, like there's all kinds of stuff. Like gold's not going to set up for a little while. Don't fucking stress yourself out. Oh, excuse me. Oh, goodness. USD CAD. Let's have a quick peek. Sorry, guys, I'm using USD CAD, but I just want to monitor what's happening. See what I need to do, if anything at all. Let's jump on to a 5. liquidation high. Let's see what this is doing. Yeah, lots of people in here. 38. Awesome. Yeah, gold sellers are going to have a really, really bad time. What are we reacting to here just for fun? Reacting to that extreme. Sorry, that flip rather. Oh, excuse me. So just a reminder, guys, that we have just a schedule change this week. We're going to be doing the case study building session on Sunday, June 3rd, just before the weekly kind of look ahead. So just FYI, it'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm away this weekend, so I won't be able to do that on Friday with you guys. And obviously, it's a holiday for Canadians. It's Canada Day, so I'm going to be away. Yeah, just a reminder that nothing is going to be happening tomorrow, as well as Friday. I know you'll miss me. Just kidding, but yeah, we'll get back to it. So today is the last day for this week. I will do any kind of a trade. I will do a trade recap a little bit later on. I won't be hosting one, but I will do a recorded one for you guys. Yeah, all of the meetings are done for the week as of today. So just FYI. Excuse me. I think Euro GPY had a decent setup too. I was looking at, yeah, above liquidity. Yeah, so perfect. This would have been probably my POI on Euro JPY. It obviously got wicked, but that's not a huge deal. So just drew on liquidity above here. So that would still be validated for me. Let's just have a look and see what ended up happening here. After this liquidation, we get that strong push. We get the chalk and flip. Yeah, so there might have been obviously we're counter order flow here. Possibly have gotten in somewhere in here to validate this. I probably would have looked at this zone. Six pip stop. Kind of fighting order flow a little bit here, to be honest, but bullish trend, to be honest with you. Let's just have a poke around. Let's look at euro, see what's going on here. All right. So we've got news coming up in 20 minutes, 19 minutes from now. Yeah, I'm not going to be looking to trade anything further. Just with we've got back-to-back events. I think it's let me just have a quick peek. Yeah, so we have ECB President Lagarde for euro, as well as GBP and USD. So all the pairs that we primarily trade are going to get hit with news in, like I said, about 19 minutes or so. So I probably won't be looking to trade any further today. So I'll probably just cut this off a little bit quicker, just based on the fact that there's not a whole lot. So yeah, we'll I'll be doing the look ahead for you guys a little bit later on today, so that you'll have something to kind of linger into Thursday and Friday of this week, just to give you some higher time frame POIs and what to sort of look for. I'll start using those freaking call out buttons too. I always forget to use them. The ones that Dave made. And yeah, so I'm gonna kind of cut this off. Let me just look at what you were talking about. Equal highs on EU. Yeah, there's equals. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you should have been involved in the trade here. I think that we're going to come back up to this extreme, to be honest with you. But just remember that if we come back up into the extreme, let order flow start to do its thing, right? We want to see a sweep of some sort to be able to then possibly take this down. But yeah, we're still moving this way, right? And be very careful. Don't force trades today, guys. There's a bunch of news coming out. I apologize that we're only getting involved on the news day today. It's just I wanted to be able to at least get a live trading session in with you guys to be able to not have to cancel something this week. But yeah, we'll look into some higher time frame stuff this week or later on today. We'll get a trade recap out for my USD CAD position that I'm currently in. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I will let you guys go, and I will be in touch with you guys on Sunday for the case study building session. If you forget what time it's at, just make sure you check the announcements channel. We're going to be doing it at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 1 hour before our weekly look ahead. And I'll get this uploaded for you guys in the next hour or two, in case you guys want to play it back for whatever reason. Don't forget about your case studies. If we get 40 people who build a case study around that very specific piece of price with the higher time frame POI on USD CAD, we will give away a 25K challenge, but we need to see 40, and we will be picking the best one. You'll have until tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to get it done. Just remember, the one that is the most detail oriented, cleanest looking, we are going to pick that one. It's not going to be a draw. It's going to be, we're going to go through every single one to see who's put forth the best effort. If it's something that you want to participate in, great. If it's not something you want to participate, that's totally up to you. But yeah, we're only going to be rewarding the people that are actually participating in the active homework that we're assigning. So have a great end of the week. Dave says, and a weekend for our Canadian and American friends. Happy long weekend. So enjoy, and I will talk to you guys on Sunday. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you later.